Well guys, as we all know, the EU in the last few days has been digging itself a ditch it will struggle to get out of, and in fact, as we speak, has literally backed down on almost everything relating to Article 16 and Northern Ireland, because in a mad turn of events, the EU has united many people who disagree in condemnation of the EU stupidity that was ready to go against the Brexit deal just 29 days after it come into force. When I see this all unfolding, I actually hoped it would continue and the EU would make it so Boris Johnson could just rip the deal up and give us a real Brexit. I say could because Boris Johnson, as you know, is a spineless jellyfish more interested in oppressing the people of this country than doing what he should, it would seem. As you all know, there is no condemnation of China for putting this shit show upon us. He's also neck deep in the Build Back Better agenda that no one voted for, and generally acts like a snivelling shitweasel controlled by his deranged eco-warrior spunk trumpet Carrie Simmons. It's actually pathetic. It means strong leadership is a pipe dream unless of course it comes to locking you in your home or preventing you from opening your business that you grafted your entire life to build. But let's be honest, you all know that by now. You've lived through it for almost 11 months at this point. He is the great supine protoplasmic invertebrate he so eloquently called Labour just 6 years ago, when he wasn't the spineless jellyfish that we see now.
Great supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies. That's it.
But Boris aside, you all remember Femi, the anti-Brexit mouthpiece favoured by BBC, Channel 5 and Sky News when it came to their anti-Brexit coverage that was trying to reverse the decision of the British people. Of course, having cheerleaders like Femi, Owen Jones and the rest of them always meant the Remain side was going to lose. They are just as out of touch as the politicians or media were on this, and the decision had already been made. The Brexiteers would never have accepted anything but leaving and made that clear in local and EU elections that forced the Tories to change tack and put Boris Johnson in charge to make sure it got done before they became as unelectable as the Labour Party. Femi, as you all know, was one of the Remainers' biggest cheerleaders during all this. It was hard to tell where the EU started and he ended. He was that neck deep in it, which makes his recent tweets all the more funny. I say that because he is now backtracking away from the EU at full speed, like many others are. Their actions getting so much hate from each side made him realise I need to distance myself from them before I get caught up in it, so he came out with this tweet here. He said you'd struggle to find any Remainers who have blind loyalty to the EU Commission. Hell, I've written more articles against the Commission and campaigned against it more than 99% of Brexiteers. Is he fucking having a laugh? But none of what's happening now in any way legitimises or justifies the damage of Brexit. Which of course we're still waiting to hear the damage on Brexit, because obviously the damage of this coronavirus bollocks and the government's response to it is going to outweigh absolutely anything at this point. But have you seen anyone backtrack so hard in your life, except of course the EU last night when they changed their minds on invoking Article 16? Now Femi in his delusional world thinks he has campaigned against the EU more than 99% of Brexiteers, which is of course false. The moment a Brexiteer put his mark on that ballot, he did more against the EU than a Remainer ever could. That is of course the biggest thing you can do against the EU, help your country leave it. Him writing articles is just that, writing an article. It means literally fuck all. And obviously his claim that Remainers do not have blind loyalty to the EU is also false. When the EU acted against this country with the help of traitorous MPs for 4 years, they showed blind loyalty to the EU, or at least their paymasters funding their EU cheerleading, which is exactly the same thing really. His final point though, that none of this justifies or legitimises the damage of Brexit, is once again false. Damage from Brexit, as I said, is now impossible because the Tories have fucked the economy so bad. Brexit could not even make waves either way at this point. Maybe one day it will help, but until the country gets back to normal, Boris Johnson has fucked it and Brexit can't even save that. But I do feel I need to say there is no need to legitimise or justify Brexit either. The people spoke and their will was done. Sort of, we should say. They voted for a real Brexit, but got a half-assed one as we know. But the whole situation over there in the past 10 months shows that the people were right to leave the EU. Their response to this situation has been a disaster in anyone's books. Budgets, arguments, overreach by the Commission, you name it, they have done it. As we all know, it's not been a good year or year and a half, and this desperate move by them to save face politically has backfired massively, which I have to say I am really enjoying. I'm not actually sure what world Femi is living in to claim any of what he said in his tweet, but when does reality matter to a Remoaner? They wouldn't know reality if it came up and bit them on the arsehole. Let's be honest, most of them don't know their arsehole from their ear roll anyway. But in finishing up, I expect as time goes on, we will see more backtracks away from the EU by Remoaners and more spectacular own goals by the EU itself to cover up their incompetence and general shitweasel behaviour.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.